Hey everybody, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan, and you're sitting in Kana's Corner. Today, I have a little known person. Her name is Veronica Taylor. She's sitting in the corner with me, and it is awesome. First off, thank you very much, for coming today, since we asked you specifically to be on for Pokemon Week. We really appreciate it.
Oh, sure. It's certainly my pleasure.
And now, Pokemon is such a huge series. How exactly did you get involved with something that became so phenomenal?
Well, I guess it's just luck that I ended up getting an audition. And I think I auditioned for the show, probably 4 times. And then I was cast as Ash, and then we did the pilot, and then I was, uncast. They decided to use a kid to play Ash, and then that didn't work out, so I was cast again, and we redid the pilot, and then I think we redid it again after that, and I still, even though I did the show for 8 years, I still wasn't sure if I would have my job ever, I think. The craziest thing about the fact that Pokemon is so popular is that it certainly didn't feel very popular while we were working on it. Because, you just go to work in the morning and, we record one at a time in the booth. So, we all just go in and the actors, see each other passing as one person left the session and one was going into a session. But, you couldn't really tell that the show was popular, at work, I suppose. But, certainly from, kids I saw, I started seeing how popular it was after that. It's pretty exciting to be part of something as an actor that people recognize. A lot of times, you say, oh, I'm an actor. People say, oh yeah, what are you doing? And you can tell them, they're like, oh, that's really exciting. But, the fact that people recognize what you're working on and are excited about it, or, their kid is excited about it, something like that, made it, definitely an interesting job. I certainly love playing Ash. I played Ash's mom as well, and I played May, and, a couple Pokemon here and there. But the character of Ash was something that I never played someone who was so positive and for me just a really great character, such great energy, and it certainly affected my life in a positive way.
Oh, well, that's actually very sweet to hear. Was the part hard at all, considering the fact that, you are a girl doing a boy's voice?
Well, one of the wonderful things about it was to be able to I guess kind of escape into this great 10-year-old. There's certainly no better job than that. And to be able to go to work and just be that person for a couple of hours, was fantastic. I think the hard part about it was the vocal choice that was made. It's hard to breathe and do that voice at the same time. So, certainly for my own, vocal hygiene, I think I certainly had to warm up and kind of cool down more than for other roles that I have done since then. But I think that's probably the most difficult part. And that energy of someone who is just so out there and positive, it certainly I think found its way into my real life a little bit too.
Oh, that's very cool. When
Yeah.
did you actually see how popular it was? Did it hit you that, whoa, this is a lot bigger than some kid show?
I guess I don't know. When it started in '98, it was on at 6 in the morning, and then it went to 6:30, and then it just kind of started moving along. I think certainly all of '98 we did the first season, and we had no idea. We all started working on the job like it was just some other job, and they said, oh, it was going to be on TV, and we said, oh, well, we'll see about that. And, we just went to work and recorded it. And then it was pretty exciting when it came on. But I think maybe somewhere in '98, or I'm sorry, '99, I guess, when the first movie came out, it felt like it had become a little bit more popular. I guess ultimately when it was parodied on The Simpsons, then, we knew we had made it.
Oh, definitely. I actually forgot about that.
Yeah.
It's weird for me because Pokemon has been in my life since I was a little kid, and it's sort of interesting to see how it's evolved throughout the years. Would you
Yeah.
say that it was a interesting experience to see that?
Yeah, I think so. You know, what I marvel at is, I think, well, I have no idea what Satoshi Tajiri was thinking, when he came up with the whole thing, but it seemed to me that, the stories that I heard were, he, he was someone who didn't go out very much, and he imagined this whole world, and then he was able to put it into a video game and also into the series. And so in some ways, I imagine that this show came from his heart, and that it also became just all about merchandising after that. But what I loved about working on the show was it really did have heart. It was really about friendship and working together, and um, your journey to become your own best. And I think as we worked on the show, that I guess, maybe as corny as it sounds, was really part of our work on it, was to do the best with what we had. And in the beginning, the show was really, nobody knew what they were doing. The people in charge didn't really know what they wanted, and we were all actors who were just trying to do our best. And so in a way, we had a journey similar to our Pokemon friends. But for us, I think at that time when we were working on it, the show really was about the heart of the show. And we all put in, everybody from the directors, the writers, the actors, everybody who worked on the show, mixing it and editing it, and everybody really worked hard to make it great. And I think that showed. And for us, it wasn't about the video game it became, or the cards, or, all of the other things. It was about, um, I don't know, this family, that the show was a family and we were a family, and kind of making it the best that it could be.
Well, it very much happened right around sort of the anime boom, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
in the early
Yeah.
2000s, and I'm sure that affected its popularity.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. I don't know, exactly what came first. I mean, certainly, there's always been some anime that was popular. I mean, even going back to Speed Racer, Kimba, Astro Boy, all those things that kind of started everything. But Pokemon, kind of took on its own life and opened the door for a lot of anime really to come in. It got a lot more attention after that. Um, I think the fact that it became such a big mainstay of Saturday morning cartoons, and then Yu-Gi-Oh came along, and, Dragon Ball Z, everything else after that. So, yeah, I guess it was kind of, out there. Um, I don't know. I mean, I love cartoons, so I watch a lot of cartoons, and I enjoyed watching the show. So I really didn't, sometimes I don't think about it as anime, I just watched it.
Right, I understand, and that really shows that you loved it as well. You were passionate into it, and I think a lot of fans must really respect you for that.
Oh, well, who knows? I mean, I find that it's hard for me to work on anything without really committing myself 100%, because I feel like if my heart isn't in it, then it's fake. You can see right through it. And what is the point of someone spending any time or money on something if I haven't given my all? Um, it's just, I feel like it's a waste then. And I think everyone as artists, as you know, um, you have to give your whole self. Otherwise, what are you doing? And we all strive to create. And I certainly, when I was working on it, wasn't thinking about, oh, in 10 years, I hope this show is still good or something. I was thinking about trying to be the character as much as I could. And also, on days when you go to work and you're feeling tired, or you've had a bad day up till then, or, everybody has problems at home, or something in life is difficult, I have to think about who's going to be watching it eventually. They're not going to care what I felt like that day, if I had a cold or, whatever. All they're going to see is the show. So you have to put everything behind you and just focus on that project. So for me, Pokemon was great in that way, as far as I guess a training ground goes, to really think about and focus on what's important in the moment.
Now I have to wonder, how did it feel sort of moving on from the series onto other projects? And I mean, you had been with it for so long.
Well, I guess the original cast was there for 8 years. And, I have to say, I've lost track of how long it's been since I was on the show, but it certainly hasn't gotten any easier. It's, to kind of be removed from something without any say in it. And, so it's kind of like, this thing that you love it still exists, but you're not part of it. And it was really difficult. And I think, for all of us to just be kind of cut off the show with no warning, it was pretty traumatic. Actually, I don't want to get dramatic about it, but it was a really difficult thing. And, business is business, and especially with acting, we were lucky to have 8 years with a job. But, it was a pretty difficult time. None of us really talk about it that much because it's still pretty upsetting.
Oh no, I understand. And we're going to take a very short break, but keep it tuned to your favorite station, 91.8 The Fan. Everything you want, nothing you don't. 918thefan.com. Have you logged on today?
Who, me? No. No?
iStock's daily news show, video reviews, articles, forms, in an anime directory. Don't get left behind. Log in today. Only on
918thefan.com?
918thefan.com.
All right, 918thefan.com.
And we're back with the original star of Pokemon, which is the Miss Veronica Taylor, which is awesome. Awesome! So what other new projects are you working
I have, there's not as much anime in New York as there used to be. So, we just finished doing Slayers. We finished Slayers 8 years ago, and now they've brought back 26 new episodes. And so the original cast was brought back for that, and we just finished recording all of it. I think it may have already come out on DVD, or it's any minute now. So that was pretty exciting, especially to have everybody back again for that. I do some shows on PBS. I'm working on Word World. I play a sheep on that, or sheep, actually, not a sheep. I'm working on a project called Lunch Lab that's on the web. It's these small interstitial, I don't know how long they are actually, but they're short cartoons about, lunch, actually. They have recipes and, great ideas for healthy lunches. And I play NixieBot, which is a robot in the lab. And, she also goes out and interviews real people about things like, they went to a farm and interviewed the farmers there, been to a school, to, cafeteria lunch, things like that. So those projects are great. I'm constantly trying to work on anything really. But to do something like that also has some educational value is pretty exciting to me.
I'm a little curious. You've been in the industry for so long. Do you see a big difference from, say, 10 years ago to now?
Incredible difference. There's really not as much work anymore. Things are very slow, and there's not very many people bringing anime in right now, at least not in New York, and there's some in LA, and I guess Texas too. Funimation's working a lot, but there is much less work than there used to be, and with the economic downturn, as they say, things have really slowed down quite a bit.
Yeah, it seems people nowadays are going more towards the video games. We've interviewed quite a few people, and every time it's like, what's your latest project? Well, it's a video game. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I guess for me it really just depends on what auditions I have and things like that. I'm not involved in that many video games. I think there probably are a few people who make video games here in New York, but I'm not really involved in them. It's just a matter of what auditions I get.
No, that's understandable, and we hope you do get more work soon. We would hate to see you not.
Yeah, it's ebbs and flows. So, you just kind of have to keep looking around and hope that some good projects come your way.
Now, I'm curious, are you planning to go to any conventions in 2010?
I'm definitely going to the New York Anime Fest, which is in October. And that's the only thing I have scheduled. I don't have a lot of time to do many conventions because my daughter's 11 and we have a lot of homework. So I'm home a lot, but occasionally I do go, especially, I live in New York, so, I always go to the, Anime Fest here. And that's combining with Comic-Con here in New York this year, so it should be really great. I've been teaming up with Misako Rock. She's a manga artist, and she writes graphic novels, and she and I are teaming up to do some, workshops, you should call it, where she is teaching drawing and I'm teaching voice acting, and we're trying to get people who are interested in, creating a character and then putting a voice to it. So we're working on that, and we're definitely doing that at the convention.
That's really cool, actually. It's nice that you can sort of show off your skills.
Well, I'm really interested in kids' creativity and kids of all ages, but the fact that nowadays I think, with the way schools are and there's so much testing and, I think creativity is not valued as much as it used to be. And, I think getting people to really just open up and let their imagination out is really important. So that's kind of where our workshop is, trying to get people to just jump outside of themselves and see how much they really can do. I don't know if they have that much of an opportunity lately.
Well, we do have one or two of our reporters up in New York, so maybe we can shove them into that convention. That would be very nice.
Oh yeah, that would be fantastic. It's always fun. There's great guests. So, and then sometimes I go. It depends on where I'm invited. I don't seek out conventions, but, sometimes people will call. It all depends, I think, on what people want to showcase at a convention. Certainly, people bring me places because I played Ash. And, I spoke at a high school here in New York the other day, and I went to talk about being an actor and all of these things, and people really just wanted to talk about Pokemon. So we did. And it was a great 40 minutes. We just talked about stuff. And, that was a thing too, that people have grown up with Pokemon, and it's kind of their comfort show. And it's one of those things that you just, when you're skipping through channels and you come upon it, you stop for a minute and watch a little, and it brings back a lot of emotion from the time when you first watched it. And that's a great thing. And that I'm just honored to be part of something like that. So I certainly love to talk about it, if that's what someone wants to talk about.
That's really respectable that, you still look at it as sort of a very moving part of your life, and it was a big deal, and you don't shun it. You're like, I'm on to other things. No, I'm okay.
Well, no, it was an amazing part of my life, and, I wouldn't trade it for anything. To be able to play that role for as long as I did was, there's nothing that has been able to top that, that's for sure. And I was lucky to have that character who, I haven't played a character like that either since, who has so much great energy. And, I played in the very beginning, we were finishing Slayers, and I was playing Amelia from that, and she's very high pitched, and she too has a super high energy, but she's totally different because Ash just jumps right in and he just does it. He doesn't really think through everything. He just goes for it. If someone's in trouble, he helps them. He doesn't think about, oh gosh, I might get hurt or anything. He just goes. And, I'm certainly not quite that, that way in my life. I certainly think things through a little bit more, but, I don't know, maybe it's given me courage to do more in my life, just to be able to jump in also. But, as badly as that show, I should say as sadly as it ended, I certainly am very happy for the 8 years that I was part of it.
Well, it's obvious that it definitely changed your life, and it changed a bunch of little kids' lives too, who now are
a happy coincidence. Yeah. If only, that's why I think, I love to work on projects that do have some kind of good to them, as I say in quotes, to do something for PBS or Scholastic, something that has a lot of people who certainly know more about children's education than I do, and to be able to work on something like that can help, that it can help people read. People have told me that they learned to read watching Pokemon. They started looking at the Pokédex and reading that, and lately a lot of people have told me about that. I mean, who knew that Pokemon of all things would help people to learn something, that kids got together in those card games that those tournaments where they would meet people from different neighborhoods to play the games and, things like that. It really brought people together. It was kind of a secret language that only kids knew, that their parents didn't understand. That it was that secret, but it had heart at the base of it. It wasn't bad. Do you know what I mean? Something that people could really hook onto, and it spoke to them.
Oh yeah, I can understand.
Yeah, I mean, it was an amazing thing that could come out of it when, ultimately a lot of kids shows now are about merchandising, and this thing was able to kind of go above that and become something else.
I sort of remember back in the day, if you don't mind me reminiscing myself, I always watched Sailor Moon, and it was such a positive show. And I watched that and Pokemon, and my mom would never understand it. She just liked Butterfree. So.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and that was kind of a good thing in a way, that you could have that. I mean, I don't think, I certainly am for parents and kids getting along and sharing a lot of things, but it became that thing where kids could be, Mom, this is what it is. This is how it works. This is what this Pokemon does. This is the evolution, like you can explain something that that your parents don't. So, I think that probably was part of the great thing about it.
Oh, definitely. Once again, going to take one more break, but when we come back, going to find out even more about Veronica Taylor and her latest projects. So make sure to keep it tuned to your favorite station, only on 91.8 The Fan. Ever wonder what's going on in the anime world? Check out 918 The Fan every weekday for the newest iStock. We'll fill you in on everything you need to know in 3 minutes or less, only on 918thefan.com. Hey, we're back in Kana's Corner, and we're doing a little dance, doing a little jig, and we're talking with Veronica Taylor, so make sure to stay tuned for this awesome-tastic interview. I think our viewers really want to know, how can they sort of track your newest projects?
Well, if I could update my website, it would be probably the best thing, which I'm trying to work on. Finally, my website has cobwebs practically on it, but this year I have someone to work on my website, and I'm updating it. So hopefully in the next month or so, there'll be new information on there, and then you would actually be able to find out what I'm doing. I'm busy with things, not just like work, but just my life, and trying to, like I said, do homework with my daughter and things. So I dare not enter the world of Twitter because I really don't know if I have anything interesting to say. But at some point I'll be able to update more. But probably my website is the best thing.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I don't think anybody on Twitter has anything interesting.
Yeah, well, maybe that's true. So I haven't ventured there yet. But if I have some interesting things happening, then I certainly will, give you a tweet.
Awesome stuff.
But for right now, just my website, which is veronicataylor.net.
All right, coolio. And before we let you go today, I was wondering if you'd be interested in participating in a 91.8 The Fan tradition.
Okay.
It's not painful.
Depends on what it is. Okay.
But all the voice actors and all the industry guests we asked on the show, we asked them if they could do a bump for us.
Okay, sure.
We were wondering if you could say, my name is, I do this, and you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
Okay, I can do that. I'm just writing it down.
That's okay. A lot of them do.
Okay. So I'll give you two things. Are you ready?
Yes, we're ready whenever you are.
My name is Veronica Taylor. I'm a voice actor, and you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan. And here's my second one. Hey, everybody. I think it's awesome that you're listening to 91.8 The Fan. I always do. Later!
Oh, that was awesome.
No, I certainly can't say I can't say the character name and do a voice because I certainly can't do that, but maybe you can guess who it was.
Well, we really appreciate that. That was very cool.
Well, I can't tell you how happy I am to be part of Pokemon Week. It's really nice of you to ask me to participate, and I'm quite honored. So thank you very much for taking the time, and certainly let me know if you have any other questions.
Well, actually, we asked our fans, which voice actors would you rather have on, and it was pretty much a landslide for the older ones.
Oh, well, thanks. Well, then I also thank everyone, all the fans, everyone, all your listeners, for being Pokemon fans, and in that sense, I guess, a fan of mine. So I'm a fan of theirs. So thank you very, very much.